My first boss was everything you could hope for: smart, witty, grounded, with a keen eye that missed nothing. I'll always remember him as a force of nature. He's also the first person I know who died by suicide. Reasons unknown and unknowable. Hi, everyone. My name is Amrita Tripathi, and I'm the founder, editor of the Health Collective, a safe space to talk about mental health and mental illness and related issues from an India lens. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about suicide prevention. World Suicide Prevention Day is around the corner, and you'll be hearing a lot of commentary probably around this. So, there is a trigger warning. We'll be talking a little bit about things that include suicidal ideation. I'll be focusing a little bit more on a book that I've co authored and lessons from the media. But any of you watching this who feel distressed or triggered, please do stop watching and reach out for help. We'll constantly follow best practices and share some of those helplines on the screen, including the government's national mental health line, Kiran, as well as more, which are on our website, the Health Collective. So I do want to talk to you a little bit about this book that I co-authored with two leading psychiatrists in India. This is Life Interrupted, and you can see a little bit more there from the presentation, co-authored with Dr. Abhijit Nadkarni and Dr. Soumitra Pathare. In fact, the cover art was based on a call out that we did on the company formerly known as Twitter, the platform formerly known as Twitter. It's by Niyati Singh, and it was selected to be the cover of this book. Now, we do talk about understanding India's suicide crisis because there's no other way of looking at it. You know, the numbers are very high when you look at young suicides, especially when you look at some of the other categories. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about the chapter that I had worked on, which has to do with the media. My background has been as a journalist, and this is something that I really wanted to discuss with you today. I'm going to read a few paragraphs from this. My first job was as an intern at a radio channel, one blistering, confusing summer. That infernal gap between high school and college where you think you're older, smarter than people think you are, or maybe it's the other way around. Either way, I was all confusion, unsure of myself in a new city at the cusp of young adulthood. And my first boss was everything you could hope for: smart, witty, grounded, with a keen eye that missed nothing. I'll always remember him as a force of nature. He's also the first person I know who died by suicide. Reasons unknown and unknowable. It gave me my first inkling of the unfathomable side of everyday life and how things are not easily resolved into neat categories that make sense. Now, that's one thing you're going to hear from many people, many experts, in fact, that suicide is a complicated, multifactorial issue. Suicidal ideation, thinking, thoughts about suicide is much more common than people think. And it's really critical for the rest of us to also understand that there are things we can learn to do. For the media, there are very clear guidelines on how to report on suicide. Don't sensationalize. Don't use a method of death by suicide, and other guidelines that have been issued, including by the Press Council of India, which you'll find on our website. There are very clear reasons for this because there is something known as a Werther effect or the suicide contagion effect. Copycat suicides are a huge, huge concern. Lots of research documenting this, and we talk about some of that in this book. I do want to tell you a little bit, though, just to take heart, the opposite is also true. While we do know, and we've spoken to Dr. Lakshmi Vijay Kumar for this book, who set up India's first suicide prevention helpline, Sneha, which is still going strong, the opposite of the contagion effect, which actually they've done some more studies to have realized when we report on celebrity suicide, huge uptick in people who also attempt to take their own lives. But the opposite is also true. She talked to us about this Papa Gino phenomenon, which is, for example, when you show that people have been in a crisis but have been able to resolve that crisis, when you share stories of people who've been confronted with almost the most terrible thoughts that they can have but have moved past that, that also has a positive effect. So any of my friends in the media watching this, know that you have a lot of power to shape the narrative. Know that you have a lot of power to save lives. I will end by quoting something that my dear friend Tanmoy Goswami, who runs Sanity by Tanmoy, wrote for us in the Health Collective back in the day. History shows that real change can happen surprisingly quickly. Between 1984 and mid-1987, the subway system in Vienna saw a sharp increase in suicides. The beleaguered city introduced guidelines for responsible media reporting, and just as dramatically, there was a 75% decrease in the rate of subway suicides and a 20% decrease in the overall suicide rate in Vienna. training journalists to report responsibly on suicide, and imposing media blackouts on suicide reporting have both been found to be effective in population level suicide prevention. Those of you who are watching this, please know that you are not alone. Please know that help is available. And as I said, my friends in the media, there are many, many guidelines you can follow that can actually help you report responsibly and help you save lives. Of course, if you do want to, you can totally pick up a copy of this book for your institution, for your library, for folks around you who might find this helpful. Thanks so much for watching.